Hello YouTube, it's Ayomide Wayne, and today the movie I will be dissecting and spewing a lot of negativity about is Collision Course. First of all, I don't know why whenever I shoot videos, I have like my hands all over the place, so I changed my mic to see if it will help me not to look weird on camera. Hopefully this is better. Collision Course is directed by Bolanle Austin Peters. I already did a review of one movie that she had directed, Man of God. If you'd like to see a review of that, it's yeah. Collision Course stars Daniel Etim Effiong and Kelechi Udegbe. Both of them are at the opposing ends of the course and eventually collide in this film. The film is a cinematic representation of the whole NSAS saga that occurred sometime in October of 2021 when the Nigerian government. I don't want to talk about what happened because it's quite sad. And I mean, even though the film is about it, this video is not about it. So yeah, but the government basically did stuff. Spoiler alert if you've not seen Collision Course, this review of this film has a lot of spoilers in it. However, this film is also available on Netflix and some other sketchy sites. So if you're going to be downloading from those sites, make sure that it's not an APK file. Make sure it's MP4. Very important advice. So essentially, this film has a very straight to the point plot and is very like precise and straight to the point. I want this review also to give the same energy of the film, precise, short, straight to the point. So I'll just tell you the things that I didn't like about the film and the things that I liked about it. So I generally liked the casting choices in the film. I liked especially Kelechi Udegbe. I mean, he won an AMA award for his role in the film, which I do not necessarily disagree with, but it's like I didn't hate it. I liked it, but like I didn't love it. I hope I'm trying to pass a message somehow. I also liked the person that played Sarah, and Daniel also really played a good role in the film. So I kind of liked the casting choices. And I also like the fact that everybody that I saw in the film were not faces that I knew, and they didn't just like, oh, bring in brother Shaggy, just to like. The second thing I like about this film is the fact that they made it. Chimamanda Adichie has this talk, this TEDx talk is really famous about the dangers of a single story, and the whole crux of that talk is the fact that we need to tell our story and that people shouldn't tell it for us. I like the fact that this was essentially Nigerians saying we're going to tell our story the way it happens. Generally when we tell stories like this, it's kind of like metaphysical or like hypothetical, and it's like we can relate with it, but it's like not gong gong gong. I hope you understand what I mean. But this is a story that like probably every Nigerian youth that exists can actively relate to, and so that's one of the things I also really liked about the film. Okay, the third thing I like about this film is the fact that they didn't ride the NSAS wave. I don't know if you're, I mean, obviously, first of all, if you're on YouTube, you're probably on Twitter. If you're not on Twitter, fix up. There's this Nigerian, God, I can't remember her name.
Sorosoke in Yoruba means speak up. Basically, it's another way of saying stand.
I honestly don't care enough to check. She's a Nigerian American, and then she did these scented candles and named them Sorosuke. And people on Twitter, oh my God, people were outraged. And basically, their argument was that she was riding the wave of NSAS. And whether I'm not, that's like a different conversation. I'm not here to don't comment. We're not having that conversation, please. But the point I'm trying to put across is the fact that this film, at least when I was seeing like the advertisement and like I said the advertisement. I said I can't believe I said advertisement. When I was seeing the advertisement and like the distribution and all the things that I saw, because I'm not in Nigeria, so I don't really know how they pushed it in Nigeria. But all the things that I saw wasn't really riding the NSAS wave, and I really liked that. Another thing I like about the film was that their portrayal of the consequences of police brutality wasn't limited to only physical things, like things that we could see, things like, oh, he was put in jail, or he was killed, or they cut his leg, or they put like a lot of bullets in him. The main character, Mide, who is also my namesake, eh, the main character Mide, sorry, the main character Mide was having panic attacks. He was having anxiety issues. We could see how his experience with the police negatively shaped his life. His girlfriend, fiance, Hannah, she could see a change in who he was. And so even if he had not gotten to that point when he was killed, just that experience that he had with the police negatively shaped his life. And I like the fact that they did, like I said, they didn't just define, oh, the consequence of police brutality is the fact that people die. It's the fact that a lot of us are really messed up. The negatives. My sister spoke to me and she was like, bro, the way you talk about films, it seems as though you hate Nollywood films. So I don't, right? It's just, I cannot but see the negatives. Like, it's there. The first thing I don't like about this film is the fact that the villain of the film was, for lack of better words, excused. Now, I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to create some kind of empathy and some kind of sympathy between us. Empathy is the word. Between us and the villain, the corporal, that's his name, Kelechi, the base character. But they failed at that. When you see villains that we have that kind of empathetic and remorseful um, demeanor to villains like Thanos, villains like Killmonger, villains like Modo in Doctor Strange. Yeah, all my villains are from Marvel. Deal with it. Those villains aren't excused. Their actions just kind of make sense to us because we know where they are coming from and their heart is in a good place. I mean, essentially not in a good place because they are trying to kill people, but we kind of understand it. And we know that the world is broken and that people are broken. And so maybe them taking a broken or a flawed approach to solving problems that a broken world has isn't as bad. Like they kind of, and you're like, Thanos was right. This film tries to do that, but essentially what they do is they just make excuses for the policeman, and they're just basically trying to tell you, well, I mean, he's bad, but it's not his fault. The government isn't paying him. The his wife left him, which, yeah, but excuses. I think it would have worked well if we found out about the fact that they lost their son. I mean, we knew vaguely, but explicitly we found. I don't know if it's a son. First of all, I'm sorry for assuming the gender of the kid, but yeah, I can't remember. But they lost a child. They lost a child. Him and his wife Choma Akpota's character, and his wife left him. He A lot of things happened to him, but essentially, if we had seen him and his wife at a happier place when they were happier, they didn't have all of those problems when they were actually in love. And I know that wouldn't have worked in this story because the story was set in 2 weeks. But yes, but if we had seen that and we had seen them when they lost their child, we could have been actually empathetic with them. So because we didn't meet these people at a good place, we only met them at a bad place. It felt like, oh, you're kind of making an excuse for them because we didn't get the time to have that emotional connection to now be like, oh, his wife is leaving him. Ish, I feel bad for him. I think the excuse is also anti the movie. If the movie itself is a social commentary or a cinematic representation on police brutality, then excusing police brutality in itself would be like, so are you like pro? I mean, you can't be pro police brutality, but you get my point. Are you like telling us that, well, it's not their fault, or are you telling us that this happens in this country and we're trying to tell this story? The second thing I don't like about the film is that it's actually not a story of police brutality. So, I mean, I won't say spoilers, but if you are here, you deserve it. It's literally the guy doesn't kill him, and I honestly think that doesn't make sense. If they were going to push him off the ledge, they should have pushed him off the ledge. It didn't make sense that they pushed him off the ledge, then someone saved him, then when he was going back, he now slipped because it doesn't make sense that he killed the guy by first of all, he didn't kill. Like, if they go to court and that, I mean, I'm not a lawyer yet, but if they go to court and that case is handled in court, it's not a case of, I think, homicide. It's manslaughter because he was unintentionally killing that guy, which is not our whole fight with police brutality. Like, I'm not excusing, or I'm saying, oh, some people kill people by mistakes, but that's not our problem with SARS. It's the fact that you people are doing it intentionally. That's our fight. Stop doing it intentionally. So it didn't make sense that this film made him kill. And I know they were trying to. It would have been out of character for this character, this corporal, to kill this guy in cold blood. But if you were going to push this man, like I said, down the ledge, push him down the ledge, he should have spiraled. I mean, if you've seen Joker, you know what it means. Something like that. Like he should have spiraled and killed this guy. Like you don't want him to be like, oh, he spiraled, but then he had a conversation with this guy, and now he's a good guy, and then he's carrying his gun. I mean, first of all, that thing is it's so not plausible because of the fact that he's a policeman. And except if you're trying to tell us there's an incompetent policeman, which is still a problem because why is any like don't even be in the police if you're incompetent. How do you mistake it? Do you like the number three thing I didn't like is his music career. I think the film did not establish his music career well enough for us to know the kind of artist he was. And I know it's a side story. It's not like the main plot of the story, but it's very confusing because this guy literally starts this film being interviewed by Trace, and then he's now being treated like trash in Quilox. Which also I don't think that whole interaction between him and the guy that runs Quilox, I don't think that's possible. Just because of the fact that he was on Trace yesterday night. You get what I mean? I mean, like you don't people treat people like trash, yes, we do that. But like people that can expose you treating them like trash, you don't treat them like trash. And so his whole music career was sketchy. So that was my review of Collision Course. I think generally, if you look at the movie holistically, I think it was a good film. It's somewhere around a 6.57. It's not the best thing since sliced bread, but it's not 3 day old bread. You know, it's like in the middle. It's like a gege bread that you bought in the morning and you are eating in the night. It's okay. If you like this review of this film, then like it. If you don't like it, then like it. And more importantly, subscribe because I mean I didn't want to be that guy that cared about subscribers, but I have like 14 subscribers. So go and subscribe and also comment on which film you would like me to review. I am currently working on on a review for Breaded Life. I really enjoyed that film. So you know the review. I'm like my demeanor here is not as happy because of this film and like, I mean, you can't be talking about the fact that Nigerian police are killing people and be like, yes, they killed people, you know. But then I really enjoyed Braided Life. So my review of that is going to be coming out soon. So subscribe so you can see it.